Test.
Test. No? I just heard something
How about-
really delayed.
Oh, was it my voice?
Oh yeah, now it's snapping.
Oh, all right. All right, so this was...
It is very delayed.
Okay, so we're going to be in order of height.
Everyone, please be seated so that we can start at 10. Okay, we are going to start today's service now, so if everyone can please be seated. Good morning. My name is Sarah Chavez, and I will be your chairperson for today's Bodhi Day Service. Are there any visitors or new students here this morning? We will begin this morning's service with offerings from 2nd and 3rd grade Dharma school classes. Now we will have choral selections by the San Jose Junior Choir, accompanied by Mr. Mas Nishimura.
For arigato, some of the Dharma school classes have actually practiced this in addition to the junior choir. So if you would like, you're welcome to come and stand in front of the junior choir and sing. So if you want, you can sit in the congregation and sing as well. Okay, thank you.
Thank you to the San Jose Junior Choir. We will now have Sanbujo followed by sutra chanting Butsu Ge, both of which can be found in today's program.
Today, on this occasion, the San Jose Buddhist Church Betsuin's Bodhi Day Service, the members of the Betsuin have reverently come before me, the Buddha, with deepest reverence and thankfulness For the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida, we reaffirm the three homages. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. 오갱킹이 인짐흥 그녀세엠묘 무여토샤니 징아츠마니 중오엔요 가이시츠옴베 연야그 주모 그녀나이 용엔 조세문인 쇼가그나이온 보드지포카이몬 쇼진 삼마이치에 이토크무료 주쇼케 우진나이젠넷 조무츠호카이 그진진노 흥옹아이타임 여크느 세손여문흰노시시 진통음흐려 궁응오다이 지에짐묘 고묘이소 신노다이센 강아사무 사이쇼호 가도쇼짐히풍에 나츠흐세조임 가인인 쇼진요세삼마 지에이종오세 동음ut 응여싱안 이사이궁읍 이사다이안 계시우뭇 야그센노그만 무료다이쇼슈뇽오자 후요이사이시토쇼뭇 은영은노 겐쇼분야 인영오자 쇼무츠생아이 무후강에 무슈세츠노 오묘시쇼 헨시쇼옥 뇨세쇼진 이진난료 룡아사뭇 공운노다이이치 모슈기묘 노조조세츠 고근요나이온 니무토소 나토아이민 노나트이사임 지포라이쇼 신네츠쇼조 이통하공 게라쿠안논 보무츠심묘 쟁아신쇼 보충안노힙 力少々人も生存知恵無限上領子孫知が信用軽量心志食の空中万葉精進年中不安ままなむままなむままなむままなむままなむままなむ願にしごとむ病の生災どんぼなひしんおじょあほナマンナナマンナムスナマンナナマンナナマンナナマンナムスナマンナナマンナ
We will now have Daihyo Shoko by the following organizations: Cub Scout Pack 611, Boy Scout Troops 611, Daisy Troop, Brownie Troop, Junior Troop, Cadet Troop, Senior and Ambassador Troops, Lotus Preschool, San Jose Dharma School, San Jose Junior YBA. Dharma School Parent Organization. Morgan Hill Hoaikai. Buddhist Women's Association. Adult Buddhist Association. San Jose Betsuin. San Jose Dharma School classes. Preschool, kindergarten, and first grade. Second and third grade. Fourth grade. Fifth and sixth grade. Seventh and eighth grade. High school. Now we will have Gatha, Long Ago in India, followed by the Golden Chain, both of which can be found in your program.
Long ago in India, a little babe was born, and all around were pretty flowers to greet that glorious morn. Far away in India, this babe began to grow, and all around were happy sights, so pain he did not know. Long ago in India, he studied hard from all. He learned so well, he soon became the greatest prince of all. Far away in India, the prince went out to sea, the city and its inhabitants, and felt great sympathy. Long ago in India, the prince decided to go and seek the way to save a soul from pain of birth and death. Far away in India, the prince had found the truth, and now he's Buddha's wise and kind, who shows the way to peace.
The golden chain. I am a link in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Now we will have an introduction and Dharma message by Rinban Sakamoto.
Good morning. Is this working? It's working? It's okay? Yeah. This morning we have a guest speaker, Rinban Sakamoto. He has traveled great distances to be here, so please welcome him. It's good to see so many of you here gathering for this Bodhi Day Service. It's a special service, of course, and that's why we're having it here in our annex. And this Obutsudang that we bring out for these special occasions. And when we gather together in the annex, there's a lot that needs to be prepared. It would be simpler to have the service in our Hondo, but because it's a special service and it's a larger gathering than most, we conduct the service here in the annex. But in preparation for this service, again, a lot of people are involved, right? These chairs were set, I think by the scouts, is that right? The scouts set the chairs. This morning, we had people from YBA help bring the Obutsudang out. This Obutsudang is not always out like this, right? It's behind in a cabinet back here. It has to be brought out. All of the things that are on in the onaijing, so the maijoku, the candle, flowers, incense burner, all of that is in the Obutsudang area. So the table actually is very heavy. It has to be lifted and placed in the onaijing as we put it all away. And so you don't see all of that until you come to a major service here in our annex building. And when everything has been brought out and everything has been set up. When we conduct a service here in the Betsuin, again, it involves a lot of people. And I think when we gather together, as we do, working together, I think it really expresses the importance of our Sangha, how our Sangha really is all of this coming together, doing something together, expressing this deep relationship that we share with one another. We might not think about it as a deep relationship or connection that we share. What if people didn't do that, didn't work together, then we wouldn't be able to conduct the service. Or I would have to do it all. Your special guest would have to do it all. And it's much too heavy for me to do that. But because of everyone's working together, because we all are able to come together, we're able to observe this service here in the Betsuin. Today, of course, is Bodhi Day, and we remember what Shakyamuni Buddha was able to do and express our gratitude for what he was able to do so many years ago. In that same way, we can express our gratitude for all of the people who worked together to make this service possible. And your attendance certainly is equally important. We could have set up all of this, and if nobody showed up, then that would be very sad. So, because you're here, we're able to gather as we do today, and much to be appreciated. And that we gather for this Bodhi Day today, remembering Shakyamuni Buddha, what he accomplished so long ago, and that has been passed down over the centuries, and that we have been able to now enjoy here in San Jose. Shakyamuni Buddha, lived in India, far away from here. And as we sang the song this morning, I was thinking, this is really what our Bodhi Day service is about, right? We know the story of Siddhartha Gautama, how he grew up, how he began to think about what was happening in the world around him. As a prince, he was he lived a very protected life. There's stories that his parents had built these castles, places that he would be able to stay. When it's too hot, he'd move to the north, where it's cooler, and when it got too cold, he moved to the south, where it was warmer. And whenever they ventured out of these castles or palaces, everything was cleared off the road so that his travel would be comfortable. He saw nothing that would cause him to feel uncomfortable or to begin to think about the things that Ajita had talked about when he was born. Do you know Ajita? Okay, I can share with you. So Ajita, when Siddhartha's mom had this dream about being carried into the mountains where this white elephant appeared. And we have this story from Hanamatsuri. And this elephant went around and entered her side. And when the next morning, and we'll have more of that story at Hanamatsuri, but the next morning when Maya shared this story, they called someone to talk about or to try to figure out what this dream might have meant. And this is Ajita who came and who said to Shakyamuni Buddha, Siddhartha's parents, he said, you will have a child who will become either a world monarch leader or a world religious teacher. And so his dad wanted him to become just like him, to become a king. And so he cultivated this life for Siddhartha. And so he didn't allow Siddhartha to see all the hardships of the people that were around him. And so when he traveled from one place to another place, the roads were cleared. No one was allowed to, who was sick or who was unhappy, to be alongside the road. Everybody was happy, and that's all Siddhartha saw until he traveled outside the gates on his own with his companion, Channa. And then he saw what the world as it was. And that began to deepen his thinking about what he was experiencing, and began to think about, why is it that we have to be sick? Why is it that we have to die? Until that time that he went out those 4 gates, he had not experienced those things, never got sick. Anybody that did get sick was kind of set aside, right, until they got well, and then they could come back again. But he didn't see sickness. He didn't see old age or death until he went out these 4 gates on his own, and for the first time with his companion, he asked, what are these things? And he was told that this is what happens to all of us, regardless of our stature, regardless of who we are. Every one of us will at some time experience some illness, hopefully nothing too serious, but all of us will die. Hopefully we all grow old, but at some point, each of us will die. And when Siddhartha heard this, he really began to think about what the world around him was really like, not this protected world in which he had grown up in. And on the last day when he left the castle with just his companion, he saw this ascetic, a monk, walking along the road, and who looked very peaceful. And so this is what Siddhartha said, this is what I'll do. And so shortly after that, he left home, left everything behind, left all of his support and all of his clothing, everything that he would be able to enjoy, or anybody would have been able to enjoy. And he left all of that behind, and he went on his own, even leaving behind, what he was wearing. He gave to his companion. The horse that he was riding, he gave to his companion. And he went out on his own to think about and to reflect upon what he had begun to think about or experience, see in the world around him. And he studied hard. He worked hard at this. He went through the rigors of the practices that were common at that time. There is a statue of Siddhartha toward the end of that 6 years of training, a practice that he went through, where he's just, skin and bones. Siddhartha once said that when he tried to touch his stomach toward the end of that period, he could touch his backbone. He could feel his backbone. So when you look at this statue of Siddhartha, it really looks like just skin and bones. But that's how dedicated he was to finding a way. And the practice at that time was to kind of deny whatever pleasure or comfort that you might have, to stop, to deny yourself that. So food and comfort, all of these kinds of things, he stopped. And towards the end, there were these 5 ascetics that had great respect for what Siddhartha was trying to do, and so they became his disciples and they followed him around. And Siddhartha finally figured out that maybe this isn't the way to do this. And the story is that he went to the river and he said, okay, I'm either going to continue what I'm doing, and this is emaciated, skin and bones, practiced for 6 years, all kinds of hardships. But he still questioned what he was doing. And so he took his bowl and he said, I'll enter this river, and if the bowl floats downstream, I will continue. If the bowl floats upstream, I will stop. And you figure that's a pretty hard thing, right? I mean, if he said, if the bowl floats upstream, I will continue. If it flows downstream, I would stop. That would make more sense, right? I mean, at this point in his life. If it flows downstream, then I'll quit, right? I don't have to go on anymore. But he did the opposite. He said, if it flows upstream, then I will stop doing what I'm doing. And it would take something very dramatic, outside of our normal way of thinking, to cause that to happen. And so Siddhartha set his bowl in the river, and it floated upstream. And so he stopped all of the rigors of what he was doing, and he sat down beneath the Bodhi tree, what we know now as a Bodhi tree, and began to think about, reflect upon all of the things that he had experienced up until that moment. And there's a lot of legends, there's a lot of stories about this time of Siddhartha's life as he sat under the Bodhi tree. He was confronted by Mara, who tried to dissuade Siddhartha from continuing his meditation under the Bodhi tree. Mara threw his armies against him to try and unseat him. Because Mara understood that if Siddhartha continued, he would kind of figure things out. So Mara didn't want that to happen because Mara is the king of the underworld. And if Siddhartha figures things out, then it would kind of impact Mara. So he didn't want that to happen. And so he threw his armies against him. And whenever they launched an attack on Siddhartha, the things that they shot at Siddhartha would turn to flowers and just fall to the ground. So Mara continued to try and dissuade Siddhartha. And finally, he said, okay, you win. I give up, you win. But now that you've experienced this realization, right, you should just enjoy that and go out. So there's nirvana, which we all know, right? Nirvana, enlightenment. And there's parinirvana. Parinirvana is complete extinguishing. So it means you stop, completely exit this world. And so Mara was saying, yeah, you should enjoy this enlightenment that you have worked so hard to accomplish. And then completely go out. And if Siddhartha were to completely go out, then Mara was free again to do whatever he wanted to do in this world. But Siddhartha said, no, I don't think so. Maybe, I'll try and share what I've experienced with others. And one of the most difficult arguments that Mara made to Siddhartha, and Siddhartha kind of reflects on this later on, and he talks to his disciples or students about this. He said, Mara told him, if you having experienced this enlightenment, if you go out into the world and try to share this and talk about this with other people, nobody will understand. Nobody will care. They're so centered, they're self-centered, they're so interested only in what they can get and what they want or what they can. They're not going to listen. Nobody will listen to you. So it'll be just frustrating. And Siddhartha said he had to really think about that. Because reflecting upon his life, right, what he had experienced up until that time, what he saw around him was all of these kind of problems. And he didn't think that anybody would listen, and Mara was kind of confirming this. And Siddhartha said later on, he said, this was one of the most difficult challenges that he was confronted with by Mara. Not the armies, not the seduction by his daughters, not any of that. It was this argument that he presented to Siddhartha. He said, nobody will listen, nobody will care. Then Siddhartha said, even if one person listens, it'll be worth it. And so Mara was defeated. And Siddhartha went out into the world. The first people that he met, he began to think about, okay, now I've experienced this enlightenment, what do I do? Right? Where do I go? Who do I talk to? And he thought about his teachers, all the people that he had learned and worked with and experienced things from. So I'll go see them. But then he realized that many of them had died, passed away. And so he thought about the 5 disciples that had, or students, or that were following him around in the last few years of his life. And so he said, I'll go find them. And so he went to look for these 5 students. And when they saw him coming, they started talking to each other. Well, here's Siddhartha. This is the guy who quit, whose bowl floated upstream, so he said, I'm going to quit. So they said, let's not talk with him. Let's not even acknowledge who he is. And so they turned their backs to Siddhartha. There was actually one person that Siddhartha met on the road, on the way to see these 5 students. And it was really interesting, too. This conversation that Siddhartha had with this, now Shakyamuni Buddha, right, had with this person he met on the road, who was another ascetic. And he said, as a matter of fact, He just kind of, not bragging or anything. He said, from what he's experienced, he said, I am a Buddha. I am an enlightened one, and I will share with you what I've learned. And the ascetic said, oh, that's nice. Have a nice day. And he kept on going. Well, I don't know quite that phrasing, but basically, he ignored Siddhartha. The very thing that Mara had said to him, nobody's going to pay attention. Nobody cares. People are just kind of interested in what they want to do, what they want to hear. And that's really what Siddhartha realized, right? In his awakening. How we perceive the world is through our own view. And so this person said, oh yeah, fine, thank you very much, see you later, and ignored Siddhartha. Here was a person fresh out of being a Buddha, becoming a Buddha, talking to this person, and that person not convinced at all. Right? If you saw the Buddha, do you think you would recognize a Buddha? Doesn't glow, you know. We have pictures of Buddhas with this radio's halo, and no, Siddhartha wasn't glowing in the dark or anything. He was just a guy walking on the road. And he said, I am a Buddha. Would we be able to recognize that person as a Buddha? I don't know. I wonder. I know I wouldn't be able to. You have identification? What do you have that can say you are a Buddha besides your word? How would we know? So he left this person. This person left him, and he continued on his way, on his journey to go meet with these 5 students. And again, they turned their backs on him. And he said, yeah, let's not pay attention to Siddhartha. He quit. Well, Siddhartha went up to them and began to share with him what he had experienced. And we know that the things that he shared with them in this first Dharma message, when he set the Dharma wheel in motion, was the Four Noble Truths and the middle path. This is what Shakyamuni Buddha, in his first message to anybody, was a Four Noble Truth and a middle path. So central is this to the teachings of the Buddha that this was the first thing that he talked about. And of course, we know Four Noble Truths. First is that we experience difficulties. Second is that these difficulties result from my tendency to see the world through what I like and what I don't like. And the third, that we don't have to remain like that. And the fourth is the Eightfold Path. That if we follow the Eightfold Path, we too can become Buddha. So this is the first thing that he talked about. And so it's really important that we understand this Four Noble Truths. That, again, we experience difficulties. Those difficulties are not because people doing things to me. It's how I'm seeing the world, how I'm thinking about the world, that I have a tendency to see the things in the world through what I want, what I like, what I don't like. There's things that are not as complicated, but when those complications begin to arise, we need to think about, as Buddhists, we need to think about those complications from this perspective, from the Four Noble Truths, the view of the Four Noble Truths. How might we be able to resolve these difficulties that arise? Whether it's a conversation or an argument between two people, myself and another, or whether it's a national conflict that is tearing people apart. How do we understand that? And I would say it's not by choosing sides, but trying to understand where this Four Noble Truths might be applied. It's not saying you good, you bad. That's what separates things out. That's the second of the Four Noble Truths. Because we separate it out into good, bad, right, wrong, opportunity for conflict to arise. And it's never going to be resolved as long as we think in those terms of good, bad, right, wrong. It's because we think in those terms that these difficulties continue to arise. From 2,500 years ago in Shakyamuni Buddha's time to before Shakyamuni Buddha's time, humanity has been engaged in these kinds of conflicts. Shakyamuni Buddha observation offers a way out. Not through choosing sides, but understanding how we view the other. And as we view the other as other, not human being, not like me, then we cannot resolve the difficulties. As we begin to recognize that we are all a part of this humanity, then we can begin to start resolving those difficulties. Shakyamuni Buddha went on to share his understanding. And for 2,500 years, many have found importance in what he had to share. In Jodo Shinshu, of course, we understand that how difficult the Eightfold Path really is to follow. But we also know that we are assured, as we are, of the resolution of those difficulties by the life that surrounds us. Through our family and friends and our Sangha that supports us, we are able to resolve or begin to understand an approach to the resolution of those difficulties. And we can respond with kindness. We can respond in empathy. We can respond in a way that supports life, not destroys, not breaks life down, but cares for the life of all beings. Today we read the Golden Chain, as we do every Sunday in Dharma school. We are all a part of that life, to be kind and gentle to every living thing. Today we observe this Bodhi Day Service, an event that took place so long ago, so far away, and yet its importance and its significance is still relevant today and applicable to the kinds of things that we see in the world around us. It's not some mystical, magical thing, but rather that basic, core, Four Noble Truths is still applicable. And we can begin to approach the resolution of difficulties if we understand that it is my thinking, my preferences, my prejudices that results in difficulties for myself and for others. And if we can begin to reflect upon that, we can begin to perhaps soften the boundaries that separate us and begin to provide an opportunity for the resolution of difficulties. Today, Bodhi Day, we celebrate the enlightenment of the Buddha, but we also celebrate the message of the Buddha that affirms us, that provides us with a means through which we too might resolve those difficulties. Not something far away, not something so distant, but something that I can experience in my life today. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Reverend Sakamoto. I appreciate you being here this morning. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. See you again. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Rinban Sakamoto. Next, Betsuin President Larry Handa will express words of appreciation.
I'd like to thank our guest speaker who came all the way from San Jose, California to give us our Dharma talk today. So thank you, Rinban Gerald Sakamoto. And thank you for your message today. Hopefully all of you can find something in there that was meaningful for your life. So again, I'd like to thank Rinban Sakamoto for leading today's service. If you're wondering, Reverend Mikame, of course, would be up there, but she's the guest speaker today in Florin. So both our ministers were guest speakers today in a weird way. thank our minister assistants, Dennis Akizuki and Sumi Tanabe. I'd like to thank our chairperson for today, Sarah Chavez. I'd like to thank our pianist, accompanist, Mas Nishimura. And as Rinban talked about, that earlier, that it takes so much to put this on. So he mentioned several groups, and I'll try to mention others. And if I leave you out, my apologies. But I'd like to thank the Dharma School teachers and students. They have displays back there. Please look at those following the service. I want to thank Junior YBA, who always do the wonderful bake sale. So after the service, please support Junior YBA by buying their baked goods back there. They'll be back on Hanamatsuri, as you well know. Thank the Dharma School Parents Organization for the refreshments that will follow. And I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody else, so apologies for that. Most of all, I'd like to thank all of you for attending today's service. After the service, as we have refreshments, I hope you take the time to reconnect with your fellow Sangha members and enjoy the beautiful day. So thank you.
We will now have Gatha Ondokusan II, which can be found in the program.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Allah. Thank you. Please be seated.
Thank you to Rinban Sakamoto, Minister's Assistants, Mr. Akizuki and Mrs. Tanabe, and accompanist Mr. Nishimura. Are there any announcements?
Good morning. I'm Mei Kawamoto, the Dharma School Superintendent. Just wanted to remind everyone that next week is Mochitsuki, so we'll have regular Dharma School service, and then instead of Dharma School class, we will do some Mochitsuki activities here in the annex. So hope to see you there next week.
Hi, everyone. I'm Randy Cow, one of the Assistant Scoutmasters from Boy Scout Troop 611. I'm here to talk about our e-waste event. I know we just had in October, but we're actually having another one in January, Saturday, January 20th, 2020, from 9 to 3 a.m. So I have the flyer here, and I left some in the church office, and I'll also put some in the Hondo for next week. So we're doing it early this time. We usually do it in October and April, but it was suggested to us to do it in January because people do New Year cleaning, and with all the Christmas gifts people got, they need more room for stuff. They said, maybe it's a good time to do in January. So we were having our e-waste event on January 20th at 9 to 3. Thanks.
Good morning. The Betsuin will be celebrating the New Year 2024 with a New Year's luncheon on January 20 following the Ho'onko service. Regular and vegetarian lunches are $24, and pizza for the children is $5. And I'll be selling tickets right in the entryway today. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Terry Oshidari, and I'm a member of Sangha Support. You saw me have Ms. Chavez do the drawing. We have been selling raffle tickets since Obon, and thank you to all of you for purchasing the tickets. This was our fundraiser for the Dharma Center. And thanks to you, we raised at least, I haven't finished the final count, but $1,400. And we're a very small group, so that is a very welcome amount. So thank you. And the quilt was made by Betty Kinoshita, and she actually did a second prize because we appreciated so much all of you donating. So she also made the pillows. So I'm going to announce the second prize first. And since this was sold all the way from Obon, it might not be anybody we know. It's Mary Neimart. And I will probably have to call her and let her know that she won the pillows. And Tomi has the pillows in her hand. So, and the first prize goes to Janice Hara. Yay. I'll see her later for a meeting, so I'll bring it to her. But thank you all for helping us out with this fundraiser.
I'm back. Okay, I remembered what I forgot. I forgot to acknowledge our technical crew out here. I don't know if you noticed, but there's 3 cameras set up here for today's service. So I'd like to thank Kevin Kitagawa, who's going to the Niner game later. That's why he's wearing his Niner gear. Paul Endo here. I don't know what he's doing there, but whatever. And Branden Uenaka, who is manning this one. So thank you guys. Just a reminder, upcoming services include the Joya A service on New Year's Eve at 7 p.m. If you come, you get to ring the bell, I've been told. I've never been to it, but that's what I've been told. Certainly, we have our New Year's Day service here in the annex at 10 o'clock, just like today's service. So it'd be great for you to see you all here and to wish everybody Happy New Year as we welcome in 2024. And this is way in the future, but on February 11th, Kevin Kitagawa is supposedly running a Super Bowl party that we're going to hold here in the gym. So it is happening, right? Well, we'll see. Anyway, so if you want to enjoy watching the Super Bowl on a big screen here on the stage, please come then. Thank you.
After today's service, please join us in the multi-purpose room for some refreshments provided by the Dharma School Parents Organization. If you haven't had a chance yet, please make sure to look at the Dharma School projects at the back of the gym. But first, we will have a Gatha selection by preschool and kindergarten. Thank you for coming to this morning's Bodhi Day service. Please come up for Oshoko.